The Los Angeles Lakers released their injury report ahead of Tuesday's matchup against the Brooklyn Nets, marking the final game of their challenging 8-game road trip. Guard Austin Reaves continues to be listed as questionable due to a left calf strain that has kept him sidelined since Christmas Day. The Lakers have been managing his recovery carefully, understanding the serious nature of calf injuries and the potential risks associated with rushing a player back to action. Leave your like and subscribe to the channel so you don't miss any updates. Alongside Reaves on the injury report, Bronny James appears as questionable with left leg soreness, while Ado Thiero has been ruled out completely with a right MCL sprain. The team's medical staff continues to monitor all three players closely as they navigate the demanding schedule of their extended road trip. Head coach Redick addressed the media following the team's recent loss to the New York Knicks, providing an update on Reaves' status. The coach emphasized that Reaves remains on a day-to-day basis, with the organization hoping he can suit up for the Brooklyn game. However, Redick made it clear that the guard must feel completely confident in his physical condition before returning to the court. The coaching staff refuses to compromise on player health, especially with an injury as delicate as a calf strain. This marks the third consecutive game that Reaves has been listed as questionable on the injury report. In the previous two contests, the guard indicated he wasn't quite ready to return, prompting the organization to exercise continued caution. The Lakers medical team understands that calf injuries require patience and careful management. Rushing back too soon could lead to more severe complications, including the risk of an Achilles tear, which would be devastating for both the player and the team's season. Reaves has already dealt with multiple calf issues during the current season, making this latest setback particularly concerning. The repeated nature of these injuries has forced the Lakers to be extra conservative with his recovery timeline. The organization recognizes that having Reaves healthy for the second half of the season and potential playoff run is far more important than rushing him back for regular season games. Despite missing Reaves for an extended period, the Lakers have managed to compile a respectable record during his absence. The team has gone 4 wins and 3 losses to start their road trip, demonstrating their ability to adjust and compete without one of their key contributors. This resilience has been encouraging for the coaching staff and front office. Looking ahead to the Brooklyn matchup, the Lakers should be capable of securing a victory even if Reaves remains unavailable. However, there's no denying the significant impact he makes when healthy. The guard's playmaking ability, scoring touch, and chemistry with his teammates make him an integral part of the team's success. His return will be crucial for any legitimate championship aspirations the Lakers harbor for the remainder of the season. When Reaves does eventually return to action, the coaching staff plans to implement a minutes restriction. This cautious approach will allow him to gradually work his way back into game shape while minimizing the risk of re-injury. The team learned from past experiences that proper load management during a player's return from injury can prevent setbacks and ensure long-term availability. Interestingly, one voice advocating for patience in Reaves' recovery is Luka Doncic, who has personal experience dealing with calf injuries during his career. The Dallas connection understands the challenges and frustrations that come with this particular type of injury. Doncic emphasized the importance of not rushing back, stating that while the team would love to have Reaves on the court, his long-term health takes priority over short-term gains. The chemistry between Doncic and Reaves earlier in the season was beginning to develop into something special before the injury occurred. Both players are hopeful they can quickly recapture that connection once Reaves receives medical clearance to return. Their combined playmaking abilities and basketball IQ create opportunities for the entire roster when they share the court together. The Lakers medical staff has been working closely with Reaves throughout his recovery process, utilizing advanced treatment methods and monitoring technology to track his healing progress. The organization invested in state-of-the-art rehabilitation equipment specifically designed to address soft tissue injuries like calf strain. This investment reflects their commitment to player health and long-term success rather than short-term competitive gains. The broader implications of Reaves' injury extend beyond just one player's availability. His absence has forced other players to expand their roles and responsibilities, creating opportunities for roster development that might not have occurred otherwise. Young players have received extended minutes, veterans have assumed larger leadership roles, and the coaching staff has experimented with different lineup combinations that could prove valuable later in the season. As the Lakers prepare for their final road game against Brooklyn, all eyes will be on the pre-game warm-ups and Reaves' physical readiness. The organization remains committed to prioritizing player health while balancing the competitive demands of the season. Whether Reaves suits up Tuesday night or requires additional recovery time, the Lakers organization has demonstrated a patient, thoughtful approach to injury management that should benefit them in the long run. Following their disappointing loss to the New York Knicks on Sunday evening, the Los Angeles Lakers find themselves sitting at 29 wins and 19 losses, currently positioned 6th in the highly competitive Western Conference standings. While this record represents solid basketball and keeps them firmly in the playoff race, most basketball analysts and fans don't view the current roster as legitimate championship contenders capable of competing with the league's elite teams. With the February 5th trade deadline rapidly approaching, speculation continues to swirl around potential roster moves the Lakers might make to elevate their championship ceiling. The front office faces mounting pressure to make strategic additions that could transform this team from playoff participant to genuine title threat. However, head coach Redick sees considerable value in his current roster and isn't afraid to publicly defend his players. When questioned by reporters about whether the Lakers can compete for a championship with their current roster construction or if they need to make trades, Redick offered passionate praise for his players. He acknowledged that his team has performed admirably throughout the entire season, showing impressive resilience and character. The first-year head coach highlighted how his players have responded exceptionally well to the natural ups and downs that occurred during the grueling 82-game NBA season. Redick provided perspective on roster construction, noting that perfection is virtually impossible to achieve in team building. Whether you're a general manager, coach, or player, you'll never look at a roster and declare it absolutely perfect with all pieces fitting together flawlessly. This reality exists throughout the league, and the Lakers are no exception. The coach emphasized that his players have done an outstanding job over the past month working together, playing for each other, and striving to execute good basketball as a cohesive unit. The head coach's comments reflect both genuine belief in his players and smart leadership strategy. Publicly criticizing his roster would accomplish nothing positive and could damage team morale at a critical juncture of the season. Instead, Redick chooses to focus on the tangible improvements and positive developments he's witnessed from his group. This approach builds confidence and maintains a supportive environment within the locker room. Redick's assessment isn't entirely wrong when examined objectively. Despite widespread criticism and negative perception surrounding this Lakers team, they remain within striking distance of home court advantage in a first-round playoff series. A few wins could significantly alter their playoff positioning and competitive outlook. This proximity to higher seeding demonstrates that the team is more competitive than many outside observers acknowledge. The anticipated return of Austin Reaves from his calf injury will provide a significant boost to the roster. Reaves brings playmaking, scoring, and veteran composure that the Lakers have sorely missed during his absence. His return alone could elevate the team's performance without requiring any trades. Additionally, if the front office can execute a deal to bring in a perimeter defender who can guard opposing teams' best players, that would address one of the roster's most glaring weaknesses. Despite the negativity and criticism that constantly surrounds this Lakers franchise, Redick's willingness to highlight positive aspects demonstrates strong leadership. The constant media scrutiny and fan criticism can wear down any team over a long season. Having a head coach who publicly supports his players and acknowledges their efforts creates a buffer against external pressure and maintains team unity. The Lakers' current position reflects both their capabilities and limitations. They've shown the ability to compete with top teams on certain nights, while also suffering disappointing losses against inferior competition. This inconsistency has fueled questions about their true championship potential and whether significant roster changes are necessary. Looking at the broader Western Conference landscape, the competition remains fierce throughout the standings. Teams are tightly bunched together, meaning small winning or losing streaks can dramatically impact playoff seeding. The Lakers understand that maintaining their current position requires sustained excellence down the stretch, regardless of whether they make trades before the deadline. Redick's first year as an NBA head coach has included numerous learning experiences and challenges. Managing player relationships, handling media pressure, and navigating the complexities of coaching a storied franchise like the Lakers presents unique difficulty. His public support of his current roster demonstrates confidence in both his players and his ability to maximize their potential through coaching and system implementation. As the trade deadline approaches, the Lakers front office continues evaluating all available options to improve the roster. However, Redick's comments suggest he believes this group has untapped potential that can be realized through continued development and chemistry building. Whether the organization ultimately stands pat or makes moves, the head coach's public backing of his players sets a positive tone for the remainder of the season and reinforces the importance of team unity regardless of external circumstances. As LeBron James continues his remarkable career at 41 years old, the uncertainty surrounding how much longer he'll compete in the NBA creates urgency for the Los Angeles Lakers organization. The team should be actively exploring ways to maximize their championship window while they still have one of basketball's greatest players on their roster. Although the Lakers aren't positioned as favorably as some franchises to make a significant splash before the February 5th trade deadline, they possess enough assets to potentially execute a meaningful deal. One realistic target that could significantly improve the Lakers roster is Sacramento Kings small forward DeMar DeRozan. The veteran scorer represents the type of proven talent that could elevate Los Angeles from playoff contender to legitimate championship threat. A proposed mock trade scenario has emerged that would bring DeRozan to the Lakers in exchange for multiple players and draft compensation. The hypothetical trade framework would send Sacramento small forward DeMar DeRozan and center Drew Eubanks to Los Angeles. In return, the Kings would receive small forward Dalton Neck, small forward Jake LaRavia, power forward Rui Hachimura, and the Lakers' 2030 first-round draft pick with top 4 protection. This construction addresses needs for both organizations while providing reasonable value on each side. From Sacramento's perspective, this trade makes considerable sense for a franchise that appears headed toward rebuilding. DeRozan, at 36 years old, doesn't fit the timeline for a Kings team that needs to develop younger talent and acquire future assets. This deal allows Sacramento to turn the page on a veteran core that hasn't produced playoff success and pivot toward full organizational reconstruction. The Kings would acquire both promising young players who could contribute to their rebuild and additional draft capital that provides opportunities to select franchise-altering prospects. Both Dalton Neck and Jake LaRavia, each 24 years old, possess the potential to become winning players for a franchise committed to development. Neck particularly showed impressive flashes during his rookie campaign, demonstrating the scoring ability and basketball instincts that made him a valued prospect. LaRavia has displayed moments this current season indicating he could develop into a reliable rotation player with expanded opportunities. The former Tennessee Volunteer Knecht has struggled to recapture his early season form following a failed trade proposal last season. That deal would have sent current Phoenix Suns center Mark Williams to the Lakers, but ultimately fell through. Since that time, Knecht's role and confidence have diminished noticeably. Sacramento could provide the fresh start and consistent playing time he needs to rediscover the form that made him an intriguing prospect. A larger role with guaranteed minutes could unlock the potential Lakers fans glimpsed early in his career. This season, Knecht is averaging only 11.9 minutes per game, scoring 4.6 points per contest while shooting 44.2% from the field. These limited opportunities haven't allowed him to establish any rhythm or confidence. LaRavia has enjoyed a more substantial role than Knecht, averaging 27.3 minutes per game, 9.2 points per game, and 4.2 rebounds per game. Both players would likely see increased responsibilities and development opportunities with Sacramento. For the Lakers, this proposed trade represents a clear upgrade despite sacrificing the promising LaRavia. Los Angeles would acquire an efficient veteran scorer in DeRozan, who brings 7 years of playoff experience to a team desperately needing postseason reliability. As defensive intensity naturally escalates during playoff basketball, teams must execute crucial half-court offensive sets. DeRozan excels in exactly these situations, thriving in half-court settings and delivering in pressure-packed moments. Both traits would significantly improve the Lakers' championship prospects. The primary challenge Los Angeles would face involves offensive compromise and ball distribution. When Austin Reaves returns from his calf injury, the coaching staff must figure out how to balance the offensive games of Reaves, DeRozan, James, and Luka Doncic. All 4 players require touches and involvement to maximize their effectiveness, creating potential friction in offensive flow. However, if the coaching staff can successfully navigate this challenge and establish a functional offensive hierarchy, this trade could transform the Lakers into a formidable playoff team. This season, DeRozan is averaging 19.2 points per game while shooting 50.6% from the field. Drew Eubanks represents a meaningful depth addition, currently averaging 13.7 minutes per game, 5.1 points per contest, and 2.7 rebounds per game. From a fantasy basketball perspective, Knecht would be the transaction's biggest winner, while DeRozan would likely see his fantasy production decline when joining the Lakers.